Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Car Question. Matin,
James.
And this week we are driving the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, the fuel saver when you talk about plug-in hybrid vehicle and SUV. This is one of the most popular, and there's still a lot of previous generation that are still on the road thanks to that good warranty, huh?
Yeah. 10 years, 160,000 kilometers. That's the big point of Mitsubishi.
Yes, and this is the fourth generation, and you can see a lot of inspiration from that famous alliance of Renault, Nissan, and Mitsubishi. So we've got a great style when you look at the exterior, James.
Yes, the exterior is just fantastic. Look at that paint, that white. It's different from what you see on other vehicles. Also with the two-tone, the black we see on the top. It's from the concept Haifu Dodo, that means majestic and authentic.
Ooh, and you've got those big wheel, 20 inches wheel. Look at the front end, how unique those headlights are. And you can see also clearly in the night once you're gonna turn them on. And whatever side you're gonna look, that Mitsubishi Outlander, it's looking refined, it's looking stylish from front to rear. So I really dig the design. What do you think about that? Comment section down there below. How about the interior, James?
It's still comfortable. I pretty like the black on brown interior more than the white interior on the Mitsubishi Outlander. It looks very much like the Nissan Rogue though. Other than that, you have a 12.3-inch gauge cluster, also with the Bandai Namco audio. Do you know what Bandai Namco is?
Yes, it's an arcade that back in the days we used to play Pac-Man. So you're gonna hear some little notes of sound once you don't have your belt buckle up, or simply because you left the door open, or simply when you're gonna do a reverse maneuver, you can hear those sound and chimes that reminds me of good old video games.
That's pretty cool, man. And also you have a 9-inch multimedia system. What do you think about that?
Well, you've got those little plastic edge right there that are kind of too large, and I think they took a Nissan screen and just drop it there with the multimedia system, which is kind of not refined, not really flashy. And when you get back to the cluster, you can see those really nice animation. One I like, the other I don't really like though, but you can see that the details are there, the animation, the fluidity, which is not the same thing as in the multimedia system. And as soon as you get down to the center console, still great material, great build quality. The driving modes are right there, everything is accessible, and how comfortable are those seats? Once again, Nissan and their famous zero gravity seat. I think they really give some inspiration to Mitsubishi with those seats, but those are looking great and fine, and it's comfortable right here in the second row. But the third one?
Let's talk about it later.
Not so great. I'm gonna do a spoiler here. But otherwise than that, even if they kind of make it a little bit bigger for this version of Outlander, you don't really show a lot of improvement for the last row. A little bit more space for your shoulder, your head, but that's about it. It's not really big indeed. So how about the engine, James?
It's a 2.4 liter ICE engine MIVEC, 131 horsepower, 144 pound-foot of torque, and you have for the electric motor, the front one, 114 horsepower, 188 pound-foot of torque, and the rear one, 134 horsepower and 144 pound-foot of torque. All that combined together, it's 248 horsepower and 332 pound-foot of torque, but you're looking for it, huh?
332, geez, the RAV4 Prime feels like a sports car rocket compared to that Outlander. When you compare the numbers, it's not even the same, but as soon as you accelerate, you've got that typical EV response, but as soon as you get some speed, it will disappear, just like that torque number. It's mated to that super all-wheel drive control. James, is it really super?
It's half super, half me pushing on the roller test.
So you're half super too. Let's be truthful here. You've got a ton of driving mode, eco, normal. You've got also tarmac, gravel, snow, mud. It's going to change the direction of the all-wheel drive system on paper. But in reality, when you get on the roller test, it doesn't really change much. It's still able to do kind of okay even with only one wheel having traction, but on one test it fails, and James needs to push and shows its muscle right there to make sure that we're gonna go rolling back again with that Outlander. But otherwise you can get out of a situation by rocking the vehicle, because the computer is gonna give you a little bit of momentum as soon as you step on the accelerator. How about the diagonal test? Were you surprised though with the snow and the tarmac?
Yeah, we did the roller test first, and I was like, oh, on the diagonal test, it won't do that great. But Once we were there, it was pretty great.
Well, it was kind of okay, great, but not amazing. Okay, James, I don't want to
From
correct
my
you.
point of view.
Yeah, from your point of view when you're filming, you can feel a little bit of rolling back before the computer figure out what to do with its wheels. But you got also the challenge that there were some ice and snow today on that hill. So there you go. Simply give the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV a note for that test in the comment section down there below. But hey, James, you've got also different mode for the EV, normal, EV, save and charge, and you've got also a button that will change how the vehicle will react, and it's all about regenerative braking though. But let's talk about the battery.
Yes, it's a 20 kilowatt-hour lithium battery. It's a little bit smaller than the old version of the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. 61 kilometers of range. On winter though, not that much. On paper, it's 32.1 kilowatt per 100 kilometer, and it's a total of 680 kilometers of range on paper.
Yeah, on paper, 3.6 electric liter as they call it by 100 also. But what did we do in reality though?
On 390 kilometers, it was more like 4.8 liter of fuel per 100 kilometer and 26.3 kilowatt hour per 100.
It was not really winter condition. Be careful out there. The maximum temperature that we saw was around 5 and 6 degrees, and the lowest one was around -7. So it's right there in the middle, and we are using winter tire also. But how about all the other journeys combined? Tell me the numbers.
On 1,683 kilometer, it's 6.8 liter per 100 on fuel and 27.7 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometer.
So behind the wheel, how does it feel? Acceleration are kind of okay for the size of the vehicle, but it's not really impressive. You can feel that torque, but not all that amount of torque on paper. But as soon as you're going to accelerate and get to faster speed, you will feel that it's kind of lacking a little boost out there. Suspension is kind of soft when you brake. The feeling is so artificial as soon as you press also on that button. You're going to release the accelerator, and the next thing you know, which is really strange, the brake pedal will simply sink in because it's kind of getting ready, the regular brake to intervene, and there is no complete stop with that system. You cannot drive only with the gas pedal. You will have to step every time on the brake when you need to stop. So this is kind of really annoying though. But the global experience is more about comfort than having some kind of sporty vehicle or even some SUV that will get into deep off-road territory, even with that super all-wheel drive system. James, how about charging now?
It's 6.5 hours on a level 2 240 volts and 38 minutes on a fast charger up to 80% of the battery capacity.
You can press on that EV mode button with the normal EV and safe mode. Well, you pretty know what that means, but you've got also a charge mode that you can use. So let's say that your battery is empty from 0 to 80%. It's going to take normally 94 minutes before you get back to 80% of the power. So is it really useful? Well, the RAV4 Prime system seems to be more aggressive for bringing back some range and power in the battery, but otherwise it's a cool feature to have. Make sure also that you don't use those regular public charging stations when the battery is empty, because with dynamic pricing, well, the price is just going to go sky high and it will cost you less to simply use the fuel. So, warranty?
It's a pretty great point that Mitsubishi is selling with the warranty, because it's 10 years, 160,000 kilometers.
Wow.
And 5 years, 100,000 kilometers, front bumper to rear bumper.
Let's talk about price now, because the previous generation was really affordable, but this one price really climbed so fast. You've got mini version of the Outlander PHEV, but the base one will cost you a little bit more than $57,000, all taxes included. But let's say that you need to borrow the money. The interest rate is 6.49% on 60 months. The price will get to $67,000. And how about a fully equipped version, James?
The GT Premium, it's more than 82K, Matt.
Wow, that is a lot of money to save some fuel. It's crazy. And you cannot even use the last row for your kids or yourself. That's kind of crazy. So minus points, well, the range, the EV range is melting as soon as you're gonna hit those low temperature. You've got the display right now showing 43 kilometers, but I know it's not the truth. It's gonna go down faster than it really is. How about the engine? As soon as its temperature is kind of cold out there, not even minus 30 degrees, just a little bit under zero, the engine will always need to start and you're going to burn some fuel. You've got that multimedia system which is really showing its kind of age and how not really fun it is. Thanks to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, it's going to be a little bit better though, but otherwise it's not really impressive. And how about that space, James, in the last row? How did you get in there?
I don't know, because that space doesn't exist.
No, and look at the graphic that they gave us for the media information. I would have been like, what? We cannot send that to journalists. You can see the picture and the two seats are one in another. And even if you're going to get some children in the rear, you will need to move the second row seat a little bit forward. And the next thing you know, no more leg room. So what is it with that last row?
The thing, Matt, is that if you're taller than 1 foot, you can't fit back there.
But I'm no dwarf.
Me neither, man.
So you've got also that brake pedal system, that regenerative braking that doesn't come to a complete stop. You've got also the mix between the regular engine assistance and that EV that you can feel it, and you've got all those, spaceship noise that I'm not a fan of. But on the plus side, James?
The style is so beautiful, it's unique, and in that white, it's perfect. It's really comfortable inside also. The gauge cluster is pretty beautiful with the sounds and everything. It's also a quiet ride, and I think the range is pretty great also.
Yes, you've got the possibility also to plug in some barbecue equipment if you want with a regular outlet, 1,500 watts of power, and you've got also a vehicle that pretty much gives you what you want with the desires of family today. Fuel efficient, comfortable, but don't think as this as a real 3-row big SUV for a lot of space. And towing, well, you don't want to do that with that vehicle. Otherwise, that Outlander will be pretty much reliable. When you look the older version, there's a tons of them that I see on Quebec's road. How about you in your area? Feel free to tell us in the comment down there below. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you another time on another video of Car Question.